When most people think about minerals in Jamaica, the first thing that comes to mind is generally bauxite. Some might even think of limestone, but Jamaica's metallic mineral wealth goes far beyond those two. The island also has deposits of copper, gold, lead, zinc, iron ore, and the list continues. It's vast. Some of these minerals occur only in trace amounts. Others were once mined but discontinued long ago for various reasons, whether it be economic, political, or technological. And then there are those with huge future potential where exploration has been ongoing for decades. So come on a journey with me as we explore Jamaica's mineral potential outside of the usual suspect of bauxite and limestone. So let's talk about copper, one of Jamaica's most interesting metallic minerals. Most of what I'm about to share, it comes from the Mineral Resources of Jamaica. It's a 1981 publication that gives one of the best overviews of the island's mineral potential. Some of it isn't so relevant, but a lot of it still is. Since those early studies, more copper occurrences have been found as exploration methods improved, and some of the early work was a bit rough and scattered, but it still helped to identify some important areas. The main copper prospects are found in northern Clarendon, northern St. Catherine, Portland, St. Andrew, and even St. Mary. Small scale mining was tried in some of these areas in the 1800s, mostly where volcanic rock meets intrusive rocks. That's often where copper minerals form. And the main copper minerals in Jamaica include chalcopyrite, bornite, and tetrahedrite. You'll also find malachite a lot, azurite, chrysocolla, and these are formed primarily at the surface when there is exposure and alteration. So this is malachite. It's a copper carbonate hydroxide mineral. And here's chalcopyrite or chalcopyrite. Notice the brass yellow metallic look. These are some images I captured from my time in the field. Today, the National Mineral Policy of Jamaica, which can be found online, highlights copper as having enormous potential. And exploration is still happening across the island, and new findings continue to come up all the time. But as far as I know, there is no active copper mining in Jamaica right now. With better technology and a rising global demand for copper, especially for renewable energy and stuff like that, Jamaica's copper story could still have a very exciting future. So, right off the bat, let me say this. Yes, there is gold in Jamaica. Absolutely yes. And yes, we used to mine gold here in most of our lifetimes and within this century. I see a lot of people online who strongly deny this. You'll hear things like Jamaica never had any gold, but that's not true. Let me read you a section directly from the National Mineral Policy of Jamaica. It reads, and I quote, "Between March 2001 and June 2004, a small open cast mine at Pennant's Clarendon produced approximately 13.4 thousand ounces of gold and 7.6 thousand ounces of silver. The geological report indicates that the mine has not been exhausted, as there are resources at depth, which will require the development of an underground mine." End quote. That's straight from the policy, which is publicly available online. I will link it in the description. So this isn't hidden information. There's no secret documents. Nobody's trying to hide anything. In fact, if you look hard enough, you can find old Gleaner articles from around 2001 where the Minister of Commerce at the time spoke publicly about gold production at Penance. And I've linked one of those in the description as well. Now, from a geological standpoint, there's a great deal of information out there. There's a great study called the Geochemical Exploration for Gold in Jamaica. The researchers compared stream sediment and soils from across the island to see where gold might occur. Their work showed that gold in Jamaica is mostly linked to older volcanic and intrusive rocks, the Cretaceous inliers and the Eocene Wagwater Trough, and the same areas that also host copper. So the study also referenced the Cedar metallic minerals reports from the 1980s, which were among the first to highlight gold anomalies in Jamaica. Those reports later led directly to the development of the Penance gold mine in Clarendon. So, yes, Jamaica has proven gold potential, and it's backed by science, and it's confirmed by exploration data, and it's supported by the National Mineral Policy. So there's no mystery, there's no conspiracy. It's just real geology and science at work. So let's turn now to lead and zinc. Most of what I'm about to share is sourced directly from foundational documents like the Mineral Resources of Jamaica. The main deposit is the long dormant Hope Mine in St. Andrew, situated somewhere west of Papine, near to what we now call Kintyre. The primary ore minerals found there are galena, which is lead sulfide, and sphalerite, which is zinc sulfide. The history here is incredibly old. Records show work was first done in the 18th century, likely by people preparing the land. But the mine, as a formal operation, really took off around 1860 when someone acquired and actively began work in the mine. The person extracted large quantities of ore, including lead, zinc, and even antimony and copper. And by 1869, a major report examined the geology of the area. And the Mineral Resources of Jamaica further goes on to describe the complex inside the mine. The mine's main tunnel, called the 6th adit, connected to 4 previously worked levels. The ore body itself was described as shaped like a lens and pitched steeply to the north at a 15-degree angle. Now, I've been out there myself a couple of times, and finding the adit these days is no easy task. The last time I went out there was around 2018, and it was difficult to locate the exact entrance. One thing's for sure though, you do find a lot of galena and sphalerite near there, so you can tell that this area was once worked. Someone who is more familiar with the area than I am once shared that it's difficult to get up there now as the entrance has likely been blocked by past landslides triggered by previous storms. Anyway, there is still so much I want to learn about the Hope Mine myself, and there's a lot of information buried in documents out there, many of which can be accessed by the public. So that's it for lead and zinc. So these are some of the other minerals found in Jamaica beyond bauxite and limestone. Some, like gold and lead and zinc, have fascinating histories, while others, such as copper, may hold promise for the future. And trust me when I say there's a lot more here. From small deposits still worth noting to resources that have been sterilized by infrastructure development to those that require further study to fully understand their potential. There's mention of iron ore, titanium oxides, nickel, rare earth elements, and so much more in the literature and in what I've seen personally and I've heard about. Each has its own story and possibilities. I look forward to exploring and sharing more about these in the future. So until next time, it's goodbye for now. Take care.